Hey everybody, I am Dr. Cruz and I am the author of Maximize Your Superpowers and Heal into Higher Consciousness. I love this new coaching program that I have, Heal into Higher Consciousness. And I want to talk to you about consciousness right now. I want to talk to you about your level of consciousness. You know, I think back when I was like 20 and 25 and 30 and 35. And I think about how much understanding I had of my own level of consciousness. And I can say with like 99.9% certainty that I had zero understanding about my own level of consciousness. I don't think I had ever heard the word consciousness. I didn't understand what that meant. I certainly had no idea how to discern what my consciousness was and how I could create from my consciousness. And because I didn't know that kind of thing, I lived a life that was very difficult. I suffered every day of my life until I was probably about 38 years old. I suffered because I struggled through life. I was in a state of mental survival as opposed to mental creation, right? And when you shift into creation, you shift your level of consciousness. You shift the kinds of thoughts, the quality of thoughts that you're having. And because you begin to work from a state of consciousness to deliberately create your life, you then create a different corresponding set of emotions and feelings that go along with those thoughts. And so I want to encourage you all today to really delve into this concept of higher consciousness, because it fundamentally is the difference between someone who enjoys their life and someone who does not. Someone who creates their reality and someone who does not. Someone who feels that life is against them as opposed to life is happening for them, right? There is a certain understanding that if I believe life is happening for me, then in each instance of whatever life is revealing to me that my consciousness is actually identifying, then the message of that moment is very different if I'm consciously assessing it versus unconsciously assessing it. And usually if we're unconsciously experiencing life, we're not assessing anything. We're probably rooted in dark emotions like disdain, resentment, depression, unhappiness, lack of joy, feeling helpless. Learned helplessness is a big one, right? And so when you live life unconsciously, we perceive the external world as the reality. And we are not quite understanding that it's our level of consciousness that actually creates the interpretation of our experiences and then therefore creates our reality. And that's really important for you to understand, that you have the power through your level of consciousness to create your reality. Okay, understand, because you're the one creating it regardless, whether you're conscious of it or not, right? It's just that if you become aware that you are conscious, that you can consciously create your reality, then you're not unconsciously suffering through life, right? So I had a client recently, and she's very miserable in her life, in her work. And it's coming from these unconscious thoughts that she's having. And one of those thoughts was very competitive, a sense of unworthiness, a sense of I'm not good enough. Not really unworthiness, it was more I'm not good enough, right? And I asked her, I said, well, where did this thought that you're not good enough, where did that come from? Do you have any evidence that you're not good enough? And so by me using some Socratic questioning to her, she was able to dig a little deeper into her unconscious thoughts and come to the realization with my guidance that she could actually create any thought she wanted to. That she didn't need to be loyal to this thought that I'm not good enough. that she could wake up every morning and affirm that she is a child of the Most High God, and she is more than good enough. She is more than qualified. She is more than capable. And as we progress in life, we learn, right? We affirm the end result that we want. And then as we progress, we learn how to get to that end result. And that's the key, right? You want to start with the end in mind, right? Start at the end. What is it that you want as a reality in your life? And then create that intention, right? Intentionality is huge. It's what sets the pace for what you consciously create. So when you create that intention, create the intention of the end result, and then understand that although I'm affirming that I am X, Y, and Z, in the physical realm, I may not be there yet. But in the spiritual realm, in the mental realm, I'm already there. I can already be there mentally. Every morning I can visualize, I can meditate, I can affirm, and I can reinforce the end result of who it is I want to become. And then I just know every day I'm practicing, right? I'm reinforcing, I'm creating new learnings, but I'm working from a state of higher consciousness. I'm calling into my reality what I consciously want to create. Okay? So that's really important for you all to understand. I wish someone would have taught me that when I was 20, 25, 30, even 35. Right? I didn't learn it for much later in life. And therefore, my 20s and my 30s, I suffered. I suffered unnecessarily. Had someone just taken a moment to teach me the power of my own mind. And that's what I'm doing for you all. So that's why I created Heal into Higher Consciousness. And if you want to join that coaching program, because we really do need to get into a community of like-minded people. So if you want to learn how to heal your past, your present, whatever is causing you disturbance internally, if you want to heal that and shift into a higher state of consciousness to create a different quality of life, I invite you to join me. I've made it very affordable. It's a monthly coaching program. I haven't decided yet if we're going to meet once or twice a month, but I think right now, it is twice a month. And then you can have access to the recordings if you can't make the sessions. But if you want to be a different quality person, if you want to have a different quality of life, if you want to have different quality thoughts, if you want to have a different experience, if you want to learn to create, if you want to learn to manifest, you got to work from your higher state of consciousness. Okay? So I invite you, go to capricruz.com. And in the meantime, I just want to invite you to get a notebook, right? Get a notebook, get a pen, get a journal, and begin to visit your thoughts. Begin to learn about yourself. What am I thinking? What am I unconsciously thinking? Bring the unconscious into consciousness so that you can begin to consciously change what needs to change, improve what needs to improve, and begin to create the life that you love. I'm Dr. Cruz. I am the author of Maximize Your Superpowers. You can get a free copy of that at capricruz.com as well. See you guys later. Bye-bye.